All right, I got that apart. So yeah, actually that's a really great idea, is to extend that out, because this has the same problem that the other one did, which was lack of surface area. This is a very small surface area for the T yoke. So I'm going to go ahead and have the boys put the 5-inch bolt hole pattern in here, and then I can put a larger washer to extend it out so we can do a larger magnet stack. And then I'm like, fuck it, while I'm at it, what I can do is extend this up, and then we'll put washers. We can do up to 10. It's like, fuck it, let's do it. So we do up to 10 because it ends up being, we have the hardware to put in at 3.5 inches. So what we'll probably have to do is level this out too, so that we can get a nice good bore in there, because it's really difficult to get a bore in there like that. So we'll flatten this out a little bit, and then we'll do the bore and do this up 10 washers, and then they drill and tap into them. I think 4 bolts, quarter 20s. It's like a socket cap screw, which is a grade 12, which is the hardest one they have. So yeah, I always do a good job when I do these, and they're fun too. So, and then but yeah, we'll turn this into a beast basically like that one. And then what I can do is come back and either use this for something else or as an adapter. That's another way to go. It depends on what coil I choose to do this one with. So but I always got to check stock, and I'm going to go ahead and do this to both of them, just because, you know, the fucking proprietary stuff really pisses me off. It's like, fuck, man, this shit's expensive, dude. You know how much this fucking woofer is? I mean, it's like $800. And then, you know, it's like they don't support it. They always say that they're going to support it. You know, Memphis had the removable tops, and then they, you know, they go, oh, well, we don't work with that factory anymore. And I'm like, ugh, because the factory was like, yeah, we need to make more money. And so, I mean, kind of that is like, because they use China, but it's like, you guys can still do better. Like, you can hire a couple of high school kids, you know, like Rusty does in DC, and just have people make them in a fucking warehouse where you're at anyway, because you gotta, you know, store the gear anyway. And it's like, it's, you know, it's not a special table, it's a fucking picnic table or whatever the fuck it is. Like me, I go steal office furniture behind, you know, they leave it out by the dumpster, and I'm like, that's good, let's put some legs on that, let's do this, and fuck, you got a table. So again, I'm all about scraps. There is plenty abound if you know what to look for and you're not a snobby bitch. So again, this goes back to, you know, something tingled inside of me whenever I saw the precursor was Red Dawn, the original one with Patrick Swayze. That one I was like, ooh, yeah, I want to be out in the middle of nowhere with like just a 22 long rifle and fucking shooting rabbits or something like that. And, you know, fighting Russians. And then later when we watched The Road Warrior, like, of course my dad was like, don't look at the nudity parts, which is stupid, because the nudity is like not for sexual reasons. It's for like horrifying reasons. But yeah, and then it's The Road Warrior with the little beastly kid with the fucking, you know, razor sharp boomerang. But that one is like, that one will fuck you up, because it's like, you know, the future is gay. The future is totally gay and fighting over gasoline. So, and I don't want that to happen. So, and I think, yeah, I think that was 2021 or something like that. Anyways, that stuff really fucked me up as a kid, and it's not like in a bad thing. Like it motivates me to, you know, mitigate that, to avoid that, and deal with the problems that are in life, so that we don't end up all super shitty. So like for me, this is my little palace, my little dirt yard, and people make fun of me. They're like, oh, you live in the junkyard. And I'm just like, dude, this is creativity. This is doing wonderful magic creations out of nothing, out of zero, nothing. So if you know, if I had some money, I would do it different, but I would still do a lot of the stuff like Mac, modular. Like, I'm still a fan. Like I still love audio, and I still want it to be, you know, what I've always wanted it to be, which is affordable and awesome. I still think all that shit is way overpriced, and it doesn't need to be. And, you know, if I happen to take a huge market share, then fuck yeah, fuck me. That's fucking great. So, but as far as proprietary goes, I'm not a fan of the Apple company. Fuck them. And anybody else that just does proprietary planned obsolescence bullshit, It's like fucking life's hard enough as it is without my awesome Samsung printer. Now I can't even find a printer anymore, just a monochrome laser printer for like affordable. And then when I do, like, let's say $100 is affordable. Personally, I liked it when they were $50, but let's say it's $100. Then I get this piece of shit that it's like somebody had to engineer this piece of shit to be a piece of shit. Like you can't just, rebadge like an old printer that, like, fuck, why are you trying to reinvent, like, planned obsolescence? So, and what's funny is the companies, like, to tool this up the way it is, non-standard, like you got to tool up voice coils. Like that's the whole thing behind the new V2 from Sundown. Him and was it Ding Dong? What's his name? Jacob and Nick at Stereo Integrity. They share that tooling. So that's Nick's new woofer on Stereo Integrity, and it's like a 2 3/4 fucking voice coil. And they do that so that they can control the recones and basically charge more. So, what's funny though is, like, that's not going to stop any of us. So when I say us, I'm talking about typically like me especially, but also somebody like George Campos of Ultra Audio / Lower to Bass. So George was asking me, he's like, hey Pat, do you have a, like a prototype or like a dead one? And I was like, no, I'm not, I stay away from that new Sundown woofer anyway. And I said, but what you do is you just order one off of whatever, like Amazon or whatever, and if I can tear it down, I forgot there was some sort of way to figure it out. Like basically you get one and then you cut it because it has to be filled, destroyed anyway for the warranty. And so then when you're cutting it apart, then you measure the voice coil, you measure the gap, you measure all that stuff, and then you just go to China and you go, this is what the dimensions are, and guess what? The math works out the same way that they have. So, and then you start importing the coils and you start importing the spiders, and the race, went nowhere. And, they spent all that money. Jacob probably fronted it for Nick because Nick's got fucking medical bills. And, yeah, Jacob spent all that money, and then all it does is just delay the inevitable for another, whatever, year or two, something like that. But, whatever. I don't know. I'm going to bypass all those motherfuckers when I'm making movies. And see, that's how you really do a brand, is that you take it to a much wider audience. So rather than trying to dominate the market that you're in, what you can do is expand the market and be the first one to market in that wider thing. So like, I would love to promote, not even whatever, somebody else's brand, fuck them. What you do is you promote your own brand, and then you have, your factories in China build up before the movie. And that's any merch fucking distribution deal. So it doesn't have to be just woofers, but there's a really great markup on woofers, and then you sell your woofers. And then they always put like classes too, like like you have your basic one, which is still badass. Like the SA, the new Sundown SA is a badass woofer, but the problem is it's proprietary and it doesn't need to be. It did fine on a 2.5 inch platform, and but they they were like, nope, we want to control recones, and so they made it 2 3/4. They didn't make it 3 inch, which they probably should have, because that basically that same magnet array ends up being a TC9, which is invented back in 2005 by Tilo. So, but no, they're like, nope, 2 3/4. So, but so anyways, yeah, when you launch a brand like that, you really want to launch it big, like national or international, really. And if you already have the brand established and you own the brand, see, that's what I want to do, is instead of just selling a movie and a screenplay, you sell product built into it. So you think about distribution, think about merch. I watched this 1.5 hour long thing last night about movie producing, and that's really where I want to go. And there's a link to, I forget, it's The Kid Stays in the Movie. It's about the guy that produced the Godfather movie. That one made my balls tingle. I was like, that's me. That's the job I want to do right there, is produce movies. So, because it's more than writing, it's more than directing. It's really having full access to the movie and creating a product that not only that you're super excited about, but you're the boss. You get to and for me growing up, I was always bullied, even though I have fucking really great ideas, like this cone idea that I have for Larry. Like, I know this is a really good idea, but it sucks that I have to give away an idea like that. But nobody's going to help me. Nobody's going to just come out and just be an angel investor and go, oh, I hear you, Patrick, like here's some money. That's not going to happen. So I'm certainly not going to bet on that. So you just got to give away little ideas. And if you're an idea guy, then you just come up with another idea, right? Like Mike D says, I got a million ideas that I ain't even rocked, right? That's that motherfucker. I love him. Anyways, I love you guys. I will talk to you later. My phone's getting hot. This should be exciting. I want to see how big we can make this motherfucker. So just for fun.